It pissed me off. Okay, I finally got the Dunlop D606 rear tire mounted yesterday. I was going to record the whole thing. The battery died on my GoPro, which I didn't know about probably 15 minutes into it. And luckily it was a good thing that it did die, because I would have had to done some massive editing as far as the curse words go. All of these videos I see of guys ripping tires off and putting them back on in a matter of 2 minutes, I'm beginning to think this crap is AI, because every time I deal with a tire, it is a nightmare. Yesterday, no exception, sort of my own fault at parts. But what I want to do is just show you some of the tools that I did use that work good, and one that actually sort of failed, which is surprising, but luckily I had a backup. All right, so I'm beginning to think that in the future, anytime I do anything of any kind of mechanical work that should take no time, I'll start doing it time lapse. Probably save some battery. Anyway, this is the new Dunlop that I put on. This is the D606, and this is the 130/90/18 tire size. So I've got buddies that run it on a bunch of their bikes, and they love it. Okay, so one of the tools that I used was this tire stand that I got off of Amazon. I've had it for probably over a year, but I just mounted a brand new D-Sport on the back of the KLR before I sold it. Then I bought the KTM. So this is the first chance I've really had to use it. And believe it or not, man, it actually works pretty good. I think this was like a $50 thing. And I'll tell you what, it pushed the beads on both sides down with no issue at all and drop them dead in the center of the tire. All right, so far it's pressed both sides pretty good, as you can see. I wish I had this contraption when I had my Michelin Wilds on the KLR. They were stuck to the beads so hard, I actually had to use the truck jack and jack underneath my pickup truck to get the beads broke. Let's continue. Okay, and also what I used for the first time with nothing slicker than bull snot. It's a tire mounted lubricant, and it actually worked pretty well. It's a spray on. I was sort of looking for the paste, but this is all I'd found, and sprayed it on the tires coming on the inside and outside coming on and off, and definitely it helps. I've got to tell you, to get the tire back on all the way without a Baja no pinch type tool would have been a bear. I did use the bull snot and was able to press most of the tire on the outside down over the rim. I did use the no pinch tool on the inside to hit the last, I don't know, probably 6 inches, which pushed it right over the rim lip. Now for the outside bead, I did start using the no pinch tool. However, what I started running into was this issue here. Okay, so what you'll see here is two bars. They look exactly the same. The bottom one is the no pinch Baja tool bar that came with it when I originally bought it. I had forgot that it sort of flattened out the teeth on it when I mounted a tusk on the back of my KLR. So if you see the top bar, this is off of the Amazon one, and the peaks are a lot better. They're not bent down or anything. So I used a regular Baja base, but then I flipped over it and I used the aftermarket one to finish getting the tire on. So for using this Baja tool like twice, pretty shocked that it sort of flattened out the teeth. Will it still work? If I pull up pressure on the actual tool, Gearing itself, it'll work, but I ditched this and went with the Amazon bar. Okay, so here goes the regular Baja set, the original one. I think I paid like 125, 130 when I bought it. And the aftermarket one, I think, was, I don't know, 75, 79 or something like that. As you can see, the body housings are basically identical, pretty much. Instead of the set tool, here you got it here. You got your set tool here. A little bit changed there. I did use the green, and I'm not even sure how many millimeter that thing is, maybe 20 or something. That is what I used for the rear axle as far as going in the hub. And everything looks identical. I mean, identical. But the difference is the aftermarket one so far has held up a lot better than the actual Baja tool. All right, so the very last thing as far as this tire change in Odyssey was a stand. I just got it in this past week, another Amazon buy. It worked pretty well. This is adjustable, but the only problem is with the KTM 390, it is probably about an inch too short, half inch too short, you know, somewhere in there. It works, but the tire is very close to the ground, and if it's uneven ground, it may not free spin. So what I did was I just put a piece of wood across the tires to lift it up a little bit higher and snapped it down, but it held the bike in place great. As I went over my recent review, I still have the Karoo stock front tire on there. It's a 90-90-21. I mean, it's good for probably another ride or two, honestly, but we've got a big ride planned, maybe through New York and Canada coming up, hopefully in about a month. And if that's the case, I want to put new rubber all the way down. So I think I want to change this out to the Pirelli NT21. Like I said, it's still got enough tread on there for probably, I don't know, maybe another 500 miles or whatever, but I may just go ahead and swap it up before that ride. So what I meant by yesterday when I said some of the problem changing this thing was my own fault, I was doing it wrong in the long run. There's two ways of removing tires from the rims. We've all seen them, where you get the one side and you get the spoon in, you grill a grip and pull the tire off the rim. That didn't work. My stubborn ass tried that for 15, 20 minutes, and I finally said, all right, enough. So I had to put that inside lip back on the rim, over the rim, and then I just dropped the rim down in the middle of the tire, was able to rip it out that way. So note to self, don't screw around unless I'll plan on getting a lot stronger, is collapse, pull both beads over the rim on both sides, and that way your rim will drop down in the tire. That's what it did. And then it was able to muscle the rim out this way. So why are we looking at doing Canada? Originally, we were looking at doing the new Adirondack BDRX up in New York State. However, even though they say it's 50-50-ish, by tracking everything out on Gaia and on Ride with GPS, it really shows closer to 69-70% pavement versus, 30-29% dirt. So a little bit too much pavement for our liking. So what we've done is we've researched, we found a place to park our trucks over in just north of Northside. Actually, it's going to be Port Henry, New York. I'm going to dump the truck there with a trailer, ride the bikes over to Vermont, because I've never been to Vermont before. It's about a 24-mile ride, stay in Vermont, ride a little bit north in Vermont on some dirt, about 34-mile section. It's 50% dirt that I've got plotted out. Then we're going to jump the ferry, which will be cool. It's $8 for a motorcycle and a rider. It's about a 25-minute ferry ride across to Essex, New York. From Essex, New York, we're going to start, and we will use probably about 40 miles of the BDRX trail, and then we're going to cut north, and we're going to head up to Cornwall, Canada. And from Cornwall, Canada, we'll spend the night there. We're going to ride up to Calabogie, Ontario, Canada, which is part of the Pickaxe Trail. Did a little research on it. Looks like a pretty cool loop, a little over 200 miles. So we're going to be spending 2 nights in Calabogie, then a ride back to Cornwall. And then from Cornwall, we won't bother with the ferry ride. We'll just go straight to Port Henry. So pretty good route, and it looks like it's going to be interesting. We've been plotting the heck out of it, so hopefully that's going to come up towards the end of September, very 1st of October, before it gets too cold.